Okay, so number 1, the question says, listed alphabetically, blank is the first syntactic consequence of the third wolf based on DSC and. Okay, so every question I read, I just kind of looked at the keywords and then that's it. So the keywords I looked at was consequence, third wolf, DCS and. So consequence, because it doesn't say what type of consequence. It doesn't say, DSC or ISC. It just says, consequence. So looking back on them, looking back on these, I thought that color was a good idea, but it's not. Sorry. Nope. What the fuck is going on? Sorry. Anyways. Okay, so, yeah. These are the consequences, because that's, it comes after the therefore, anything on the right is the consequence, and that's it. That's it. So, going back here, number 1, so something, therefore something. And so that is the consequence. That's what question 1 is asking. And the clues are wolf 3 and DSC and. That's it. So whenever you see, from now on, whenever you see the word consequence, just kind of imagine it's something after, it's always going to be on the right side. And that's it. That's it. And our clues, what he's saying is like, the answer is going to be here and here. So now we go back to wolf number 3. So we have wolf 3 here. Wolf 3. And so what we remember was that it said DSC and, so now we have wolf 3. That was the first clue. And then DSC and. DSC and. And then he said it's the consequence. So we know it's going to be on the right side. So what's on the right side? These here are the antecedents. So we know it's not those. It's going to be these. One of them. And then he says in parentheses there are 2, but I want to know which one. I want to give me the one that's listed first in the alphabet. Obviously this one. And that's it. Boom. Boom. We have number 1, which is like the easiest one. So everybody, I'm pretty sure, got that one. So M. Number 2. So, like I did the first one, I just look for keywords and that's it. So it says blank is a DSC of 1. So we just say, okay, so we have DSC of 1 and it's based on blank. So it says blank is a consequence. And not just any consequence. It's a consequence of a DSC and then something. And then it says blank is a direct, so blank is a DSC of 1. So a DSC of 1, and we know that 1 is M. And then it says, and then he gives a clue for this one. He says, it's listed in the wolf needed. And basically that's just, he's basically saying the answer is also, the consequence, this consequence is also an antecedent. So whatever this is here is also a consequence. It's both. So we need to find some wolf that's both, that's on the left side and the right side. So let's look. And it has M in it. Okay, I made the mistake of overthinking all these fucking questions. So it's like, yeah, so these are all, every question is just clues. It's not like, don't take it verbatim, just like pick out keywords and that's it. So our keywords are DSC, it's a consequence, M. So let's look. So we don't even need to look at the wolves that don't even have M. We just look at the ones that have M. All right, so we don't need to look at wolf 1. We don't need to look at wolf 2 because there's no M's, you know? So we have wolf 3. Wolf 4 doesn't have M. Wolf 5 has M. So right now we just need to focus on wolf 5 and wolf 3. But then it says it's based on a direct. So we need to find them. We need to find the ones that is on the left side. We need to find something that is on the left and the right of the therefores. So let's see. There is no left and right on this one. It's just one side. So it's not this one. It's not this one because we need DSC. So we have this one here. Okay. We already used this one, so it's not that one. So we have these here. So let's see. And then we have wolf 5. So this is the wolf needed here. And this is an antecedent. A consequence. So we have M. Stay with me. Okay. It says it's a consequence of M. So it's like M, therefore something. So this is what I did. I gave the two scenarios. DCSC either or, DCSC and. We know that it's not going to be double negation because the ones that we looked at, you don't think of any in your head, just look at the ones in front of you. We know it's not this one because it only has one thing. There is no left and right side. It's just one thing. So we know it's not that one. It's either this this type of DSC or that type of DSC, and that's it. So recall this here. So we have this, okay? Something, therefore something. So M can be this, but this is under this is where I was screwing up. So this one is a maybe. Let's look at the other one, the other DSC. So we know it can only be one of these. It's not DSC DN, double negation, for number 2. So let's look at this one here. We know that the clues are M and then DSC and that it's a consequence. So we know that it's going to be on the right side. So we have M. M is going to be on the left side. Consequence on the right. And number 2 is asking for the consequence. And it says that M is the antecedent. Or as he puts it, wolf needed. Which is just another word to say antecedent. Disclaimer, I do not have a PhD in logic or philosophy or a master's or a bachelor's. I am just someone who is showing how I got it. So this one looks a hell of a lot more similar to what the question is talking about than this one. So let's focus on this one here. All right, M. Let's put an M there. M, therefore something. Let's look for something with the heart and star format. Heart, either or star. Oh, I had it here. So number 5. Do you see this format? Okay, so the clue was that it was an antecedent and a consequence. And look, oh, this one is an antecedent and a consequence. And that's it. It's this one. Because it matches this format. It's the only one. So this one is a no-go. Cool. So yeah, when I was messing around with it, this was my thinking process. I was like, think about antecedents, wolf needed. This is what we were looking for, It says, so we have and wolf 3 and this. Yeah, that was my like logic to number 2. So I'll move on to number 3. Number 3 says, consider the answer to question 2, which is, you know, what it is. And wolf, so consider the answer to question 2 and wolf number 5. And wolf 5's main connective, which is just, you know, the arrow. So once you have number 2, the answer, and then we see wolf 5, the whole thing what does this question 2 and this have in common? Well, it's obviously this. Obviously. So, and then it's saying, just look at them. What is it gonna make? What's it gonna make? You can't know, you cannot know number 3 if you don't know number 2. That's basically what the question is saying. It's basically saying, when it says consider the answer to question 2 and consider the 5th wolf as well as the arrow, think of the question rewritten as look at question 2's answer. And then so you look at it, look at wolf 5. Now, based on this connective, what do they produce? Or different, something different. The question 2 could also be written like, look at wolf 5. And so we know that that's it's kind of like a clue, and then like what is the consequence of wolf 5? And we know that it's F, right? Okay, so then you say put the answer of question 2 in place of now what is the consequence? So what is the consequence of wolf 5? We know it's F. Put the answer of question 2 in place of M or U. Or it could say, put the answer, or it is saying, put the answer of question 2 in place of the antecedent. This is the antecedent. This is considered the wolf needed antecedent. So put the answer to question 2 in place of this one. Now what is the consequence? Well, answer 2 is this already, so it's like a trick question, but not, and it's gonna be the same thing. It's the same thing. Okay, cool. Moving on. All right, number 4. Number 4 says, consider question 1. The answer to that question was a syntactic consequence of wolf 3. Based on DSCN. So the way you found number 1 was by looking at the consequences of DSCN. And now I'm just like rephrasing question 4. So you used a consequence from wolf 3. Now I'm literally just rephrasing this question. So it's saying you used a consequence from wolf 3, okay? And it says based on DSCN. It says now these are the only 2 consequences right here. It says now just use the other one because we already used this one. Now use this one. It says, in a filled out table, blank is listed in the wolf needed column according to the definition blank. It is produced as a ISC by the answer to question 3 together with the unused consequence from question 1. So It's basically saying blank is listed in the wolf needed column. And so what do we know? We know that wolf needed is an antecedent, right? Because it's on the right side. These here are the wolf needed. I just rewrote everything to look cleaner without the lines or the squares or the boxes. This is how my brain works. And hopefully this is not confusing you even more. If it is, just exit the video. You don't have to watch it. So we're looking for an antecedent. Okay, so we need an antecedent. That's what we need, because it says it's the answer, the blank is listed as an antecedent. He's basically saying the first blank is an antecedent, okay? That's the first blank. According to the definition, blank, it's produced by a ISC. So we know that the other blank is an ISC. What kind? We don't know yet. So the clues are after the second blank. So it says it's produced as an indirect syntactic consequence, which is ISC, by the answer to question 3. So this is made by the answer to question 3 together with the unused consequence. So I'm going to rephrase the question. And I'm going to tell you in a different way what it's asking. Okay? So we have ISC something. We have the negative Q. We have the answer to the other one. So we know that it's an ISC. So let's go refresh on those here. We know it's not the, excuse me, sorry. So let's look at these. Let's look at these of the wolves that have the letters, that have these letters. So number 5 has it, so we'll focus on this one. Number 4 has it, we'll focus on this one. Oh, it has this one too. This one doesn't have it, needs an F. This one doesn't have it, this one doesn't have it. So we have 4 and 5, but we're gonna focus first on 4 because it has both. So, oh, I just let this equal J because I didn't want to write it. I was being lazy. So we have these two. Okay. But You see? Do you see this, like, little here? Something, therefore something. We don't have any other clues. The only clues we have are these. So it's not going to be something like not Q, therefore F, or F, therefore not Q. There's nothing like that. The only thing we see is not Q and F. And that's it. But there is nothing to put that together. You see? Because they all involve this T. But, you know, clearly it's not asking for T. The only hints are the answer to question 3 and the unused consequence from question 1. So it looks like it has to be something like along this line, but there is no therefore, you know, so it doesn't make sense that it would be ISCMT or ISCMP. If we had, say wolf 4 was instead not this, but like and this was wolf 4, then we could do something with that, but that's not what it is. So there's one more ISC. This one. So we know that whatever it is, it's whatever the blank is, the first blank in question 4, we know that it's going to be in the wolf needed column. It's an antecedent. We know that it involves Q and F. We ruled out that it's not those because the therefore. I hope that makes sense. I don't even think it makes sense, but it's basically like, if you were, let me just rewrite the question and tell me if you get it this way, okay? Oh my god, my neighbors are so loud. Dang, this is hard to write in sentences. There is a wolf that has both the letter, no, that has both the answer from question 3 and the other consequence you didn't use from question 1. What is it? And what definition does it go by? So does that make sense? This is exactly what question 4 is asking. Okay, this is exactly what it's asking. I'm fully confident in that. Probably. There's a wolf that has both question 3, the answer from question 3. It has both, so meaning 2, and the other consequence that you didn't use from question 1. What is it? And what definition does it go by? And remember, the clues we were given were these two. So there's a wolf that has not Q, and the other, and the other consequence you didn't use from question 1. What is it? So there's a wolf with this. What is it? And what definition does it go by? So now we need to find a wolf with not Q and F. We need to find a wolf with not Q and F. Oh my god, there it is. Wolf 4. What is that? What is this? Sorry, I'm going crazy. That is, it's not this one. It's not this one. It looks a lot like this one. I hope that makes sense.